So it's hot part of the summer. I mean, the high yesterday was 102, and it's the same way all across the country. And some of the questions that I'm getting is, where do you start in the summer, and kind of how do you narrow it down? Obviously, we're kind of like on a highland reservoir, not a river system, that flows like Kentucky Lake. We're on a reservoir. Like, where do you start? A lot of the fish are out deeper. There's just not a lot up real shallow. So a good rule of thumb is where to start. This lake is different from the upper end to the lower end. Lower end right now you got 12, 15 foot visibility. Upper end we have 3 to 4, maybe even 5, on a calm day. I like to take that number, say 5 foot visibility, and times it by 3. Okay, and that's where I'm gonna start. So I'm gonna start, in that 15 to deeper. Now, one thing we're gonna cover today is the Thermocline. Okay, we're gonna start at that depth, but we're gonna be walled off at the bottom by the Thermocline. And the Thermocline, what that is where, during the summer, this water on the top has heated up and it's gotten really warm. And then on the bottom, it's still really cold. If you jump into the lake, like I do a lot when I'm out here fishing, you can literally feel it with your feet. It's 5 degrees cooler just in 6 foot distance, and it's the same working down. And then when you get to the Thermocline, I've talked to divers that dive out here. When you get to the Thermocline, it's super cold. And they said that the water is turbulent always at the Thermocline. It's like where it mixes. So I've never caught many fish at all below the Thermocline, and the Thermocline's very visible on the graph. You can see that. But even if you're fishing out, and say the fish are at 20, you'll see them just suspend even out in the middle of the lake. It's almost like a concrete wall on the bottom. I don't catch them below it. There may be guys watching this that says I catch them all the time below it. I would like to see it. There's some lakes and rivers. St. Lawrence River does not have a Thermocline because the current's always running and it's always mixing. And the thing is we can run to different parts of this lake, and the Thermocline's going to be different. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. But even in these creek arms, you get in these creek arms, and it changes, not by a lot, but it will change. And I always keep an eye on it. It's real easy to see, as long as you have decent units. Right now, you see how my unit's really, really clear. There's nothing over there. So we're going off this ledge right here, and we should settle in and be able to see it. And right there, you can see it like 20, what is that, 25? Right there, you can just see all of the fuzz. And I can take my unit and turn the brightness up, and it even shows it thicker. So if you're having trouble seeing it, turn your brightness or your gain up a lot. And what happens is you always hear of the water turning over and stuff. That's what happens in the fall. Like, it settles, something changes. I'm no scientist, but it just flip-flops and it mixes, and there'll be a couple of weeks of kind of tough fishing, pea-colored or tea-colored water, not pea, tea-colored water, and then it settles, and then literally, I've caught fish deeper in the fall, like after it flops, than I have any time of year. I mean, you catch them 30, 40, 50 foot deep, so, and probably deeper if I tried. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to fish. We're going to kind of keep our eye on this, and we're going to see. So we're going to mark it right here at 25. And what's funny is we put in at that boat ramp right over there, and over there it was 20. So it's changed that much just here to there. But we also put in kind of in a creek. So what this lake's doing is during the day they're not running any water, and at night they're running a lot. They're just trying to keep the same elevation. And what that's doing is it's actually keeping the thermocline a little bit deeper than it normally is. Typically in July, this time of year, the thermocline will be 15 to 20, and it's kind of good for us if you think about it, because it kind of shuts them down into an area where we can target them. I mean, if you could catch them to 100, it'd be a lot tougher to catch fish because they'd be a lot more spread out. So, you know, it is the summertime. We're gonna go see if we can catch a few, keep an eye on this. Yeah, so right now we're looking at 25 up. We're gonna run down the lake a little bit and fish our way back. So what we've done is we've moved down the lake, I don't know, 7 or 8 miles, and actually I just hit it right there. I was kind of looking for it. It's at 40, 38, 39. I'm gonna raise it up though. Yeah, it's pretty much settled in at 40. You can see right there is a perfect, we're above 40 and it's settled in the bottom of that cut. So just in 5 or 6 miles, that's how much it's changed. And I would guess that it's gonna be probably pretty consistent going down towards the dam. But you know, we're just gonna hop around today. We're gonna fish some, you know, maiden lake points and brush piles, you know, hopefully see a few on live scope. It's gonna be a big spinning rod day. Actually, I don't have a bait caster laid out for the simple fact that I'm going north pretty soon. But yeah, it's got to keep an eye on this, because even, you know, there's times where, like right now on this lake, it's really defined. I've seen times where it's not as defined, you know, there's more of a turbulent area than just a perfect wall. But yep, I'll have to keep an eye on it. So let's see if we can catch a few. Come here, buddy. He's got my bait laying out there. Spotted bass. Oh, that wasn't good. So it's funny how people think I'm crazy, but we literally just pull up here, put the trolling motor down, and I see it. You know, I see these fish just coming up to look at the boat. Bass. You know what it is they're out here swimming around. There's a boat that pulls up. They're just curious, you know. So like so many times when I first pull up, you'll see them, you know, just come up and kind of look at the boat, make a drop straight down underneath the boat. There's another bait right there. Another spotted bass. Skinny, poor spotted bass. I dropped my stuff down there and I saw a couple swimming. Look at eyes bulged out. They come out of deep water. I dropped my stuff down there and I didn't feel a bite, but I seen this fish take off swimming like he was running for the heels. Probably a pretty good hint that you might need a jerk. Look right there how there's no fish below that. One right there. Looks like some white bass right on that turn. Some tires. Bunch of tires. There's that one that was hanging underneath that rock. Not that much. get it. Smallmouth, I bet you he's in that bait ball. Oh, did you see how many was in that? How many was in that bait ball that left it whenever I dropped it down there? Do a little surgery on him. He's lucky because it had him. You know, it's just typical setup. This is a 2-aught Trocar drop shot hook. That's a Yum warning shot, and somebody just shot a deer. You know, and this is the only time that I tie a Palomar. You just got to make sure it's clean and it doesn't overlap. And I'll show you the reason that I do the Palomar. So if you got your weight there, you see how it hangs upside down, and then go through the face, the front of the hook, just like that. What you're doing is you're pulling your knot. You'll hear it pop like that. Now, when I put my weight on there, you see how it's gonna be upright, just like that. Gotta get a weight out of here. I like that. The clearer the water is, the more I like length on that drop shot. I just think they can see it further. You know, like if I'm on the bottom, it keeps it up higher and they can see it further as opposed to being close, especially up there smallmouth fishing. I've fished with locals up there that literally use like a 3-foot, like co-anglers and stuff. They're staying back underneath the engine. That's the problem. There's a bunch of fish here, but they're all the same size. I got one with him, like a 4-pounder swimming with him. Easy. Dang it. Did you see how many was there? They just came swimming out of deep water. I don't want to break my line. I don't want to get it all twisted up. Yeah, I was looking. They literally came from behind the boat and just showed up. Look at that minnow. So the setups I was using today, you know, basically most of them I caught was just on regular drop shot. You know, pretty good sized leader there between the weight and the hook. 1-aught Trocar hook there. That was for like open water fishing, dropping when there's no brush around. Same exact setup except Texas rig for like if there was brush. I don't even think I made it. I usually catch a lot of them on this real clear water, just a Great Lakes Finesse little Ned there. And then these two over here, this one's mainly for like if they come up schooling. Just a little underspin, Great Lakes Finesse there. And then you guys have seen this, just a sonar minnow. And I didn't catch, I only had a couple bites on it today, but like you come across that brush and you see a bunch of fish and they'll be right over the top of it. You know, I can't swim this through the brush, but I could swim it over the top. I like to do the first cast with that and then pull up there and drop shot and stuff like that. So that was the basic setup, you know, no biggins today. Had, I think, a couple big bites, but didn't boat them. So it's about that time, lunchtime. I appreciate you guys. Hope you learned something. I appreciate you guys riding along.